Sustainable agriculture is a systematic, successful management of resources which satisfies human needs while maintaining and enhancing the quality of environment and conserving natural resources. The relevance and the need for eco-friendly alternative farming systems arose from the ill effects of chemical practices. Sustainable production practices involves a variety of approaches of specific strategies taking into account topography, soil characteristics, climate, predatory pests, and local availability of inputs like manure, seed, and human resources. Though small-scale farming is site-specific, farmers have applied general principles in traditional practices. Farmers select species and varieties of seeds and crops that are well suited to the site and to the conditions on the farm. Farmers diversify the crops and cultural practices to enhance the biological and economic stability. Management of the soil to enhance and protect soil quality has been an important aspect of the traditional systems of farming. Farmers have learned through generations that diversified farms add to the ecological resilience. By growing a variety of crops, farmers spread economic risks and add to the subsistence economy. This helps them to mitigate any negative impact of radical price fluctuations associated with changes in supply and demand. The approach to sustainable farming begins with management of the soil nutrients. Recycling of agriculture waste is the key to enriching the soil. It is estimated that 1,800 million tons of compost, 400 million tons crop residue, and the so-called wastes are rich in nutrients. The crop residues and animal dung can be converted to vermicompost that is rich in nutrients. It is estimated that earthworms can convert about 1,000 tons of moist organic waste into 300 tons of rich dry vermicompost. Earthworms can eat almost any type of organic matter, including bones and eggshells, and they consume their own weight of residues, converting it into rich nutrient worm casts. Green manuring is a traditional way to improve soil fertility. For the green manure, nitrogen-fixing legumes crops are grown in the field, which are cut and incorporated into the soil. Examples of green manure include sesbania, cowpea, sun hemp, cluster bean, and clover. Soil and water conservation measures like trench and bunding across the slopes, farm ponds, and planting of trees on bunds have helped farmers protect their land from soil erosion. Green Foundation, the Foundation for Genetic Resources, Energy, Ecology and Nutrition, is a civil society organization that has worked with farmers in introducing sustainable and self-reliant techniques cultivation. Farmers are trained in different sustainable agriculture practices like composting techniques, pest and disease management, using local available plants and selection of seeds, and have developed community seed banking. Green Foundation's focus on seed security for farmers, reviving agriculture diversity, has been of foremost importance. Farmers have been exposed to the need for ecological, economic, cultural, and political aspects of conserving the lost genetic resources. Over the years, farmers have focused on conserving diverse varieties in finger millet and dryland paddy, which is a staple crop of the area. This initiative is to help meet food and fodder requirements of small and marginal farmers through conservation and utilization of local plant genetic resources. Sadly, introduction of new high-yielding crop varieties and hybrids have replaced the local varieties in farmer fields. The main drawback of the cultivation of hybrids and high-yielding varieties is the mandatory application of external chemical inputs to realize the yield. The result? The degeneration in the quality of productive traditional agro-systems. In an effort to increase on-farm biodiversity of local land races, Green Foundation along with farmers have promoted farmers' participation in field days, where diverse varieties of finger millet and rice are showcased. During these field days, farmers have an opportunity to evaluate varieties, and farmers from neighbouring areas have an opportunity to visually appreciate the diversity in finger millet and dryland rice. The area under cultivation of local varieties has increased with the introduction of revival of local varieties. The multi-cropping system followed by farmers keeps intact the finger millet as the main crop, with field bean, cowpea, castor, sorghum, pearl millet, little millet and foxtail millet as the intercrop. Niger is grown on the border to protect the field from cattle grazing, and mustard is grown as a cash crop to sustain the subsistence economy. This diversity of crops grown by the farmer provides security against complete crop failure due to the adverse climatic conditions such as drought, pest and diseases. Local varieties have proven to give good quality of fodder for the livestock that is a crucial part of traditional farming system. At the onset of monsoon, farmers celebrate the process of germination as a ritual where the first plough is designated as the golden plough. Culture and ritual play an important part in farming in India. At the start of any agriculture process, farmers begin with a small prayer, lighting a lamp of camphor and offering flowers. This is symbolic of thanking nature. Farmers follow different seed treatment techniques to manage seed-borne diseases, failure of germination, leaf blast and grain mold diseases. Through training and demonstrations, seed treatment and germination practices have been revived. For farmers with no access to land, kitchen gardens have proved to be an ideal place for conserving the diversity in vegetables of local origin. Besides being a source of nutrition for the family, women have successfully saved seeds from their kitchen garden. The diversity of vegetables include tomato, brinjal, chili, okra, greens, grain amaranth, and several bean varieties. Perennials like curry leaves, papaya, drumstick, and even fruit trees like sapota and guava have been nurtured in the kitchen gardens. Whether it is the traditional systems of cultivation or the indigenous varieties, the question of yields becomes a bone of contention. Green Foundation's effort to increase yields through enriching soil has been prominent. Besides, farmers have been exposed to the system of rice intensification, commonly known as SRI. SRI is acknowledged as a popular method of growing rice, and yield increases has been demonstrated. SRI is not a fixed package of technical inputs, but a system of production with four main components: soil management, planting method, weed control, and water management. Of the key cultural practices are soil nutrient management through adequate farmyard manure, transplanting young seedlings between 8 to 10 days old at wider spacing of 25 by 25 centimeters. Regular weeding and protective irrigation to keep the soil wet without flooding it is important. Rice grown under SRI has larger root system, profuse and strong tillers with big panicles and well-filled spicklets with higher grain weight. Farmers have adopted the principles of the SRI in cultivating finger millet as guli ragi, In both cases, farmers have seen an increase in the yield and quality of grains that are produced. In all the years of interaction with the farmers, Green Foundation has established two important messages for farmers and those working with the farmers. The first, it has exploded the myth that the benefits of industrial mode of agriculture exceed that of the traditional system, followed in a systematic manner, understanding the ecological principles. The second, that the preservation of diversity in agriculture is crucial to ensuring supply of the much needed seed and food security for small and marginalized farmers, and to protect them against the vulnerabilities of climate change, market and the problems of fragile ecosystems to which they are exposed to.